Yeah, what do you think about that with people and screens? Like when I'm on public transportation in Chicago, if you go on a bus or a train, literally you just look around and everybody's like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people will say like, oh, when they had newspapers, they did that and stuff. But like, newspapers weren't this like active thing trying to. It's.
The newspaper
I feel
ends.
like it's apples and oranges. I feel like, in a way, because it's not trying to confirm your. The newspaper isn't actively designed
to target you and like baby.
and to keep you reading
exactly.
this,
It
right?
ends. It ends. Of course, it will come the next day, but when you're finished with the newspaper, you're done. The phone never ends.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that's tricky about public transportation is there's this weird unspoken rule where you're not allowed to really look at anyone, and you learn that quickly when you move to the city because at first you're like, hey, I'm gonna change the world, and you're smiling at everyone, and then somebody like does something, pees on you, or anything can happen in the public transportation. So everybody just looks down. So if you don't have a book or something, you're gonna be on your phone.
What do you do on public transportation?
I would read as much as I could because in Los Angeles, I don't really take it out here, but in Los Angeles, it's underground, most of it, where I was living, so there's no service. So you can't be on your phone. Plus, you don't want your phone out because somebody's going to grab it. Like, it's crazy. So I would read or have a friend, but mostly read or stare into the abyss.
Yeah.
What about you?
I used to have, COVID kind of threw this off, I will say.
Like everything?
Yeah. Like,
life?
I used to, what I have found, there was a point, like last fall, where I felt like more depressed than I've felt in like 10 years. So then I took a step back, and then I was like evaluating and being objective. Okay, what am I doing right now? And then like 5 habits stuck out to me. I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't like moving. You know, I don't know if people don't need to be like exercising, going to the gym, like doing all that stuff, but just like move your body, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't doing that as much. I wasn't clearing space. Now this is a huge one. Like, just go on a walk. Just let your mind just wander. And that just like if anybody has like a MacBook, for me, I have like an old version, and the storage is always getting filled up. And it's like it pops up, disk full. You can't do anything.
So true.
And it's like, what? Clear space. And then you clear space, and then like
the world
it runs really efficiently again. So our brains are also processors, just like computers. So the less things you put in it and fill up with it, if you clear the space, then you're able to operate at a higher level. So that, and then reading. I hadn't been like reading as consistently as before.
Because you were depressed too. Like,
well, it was like
read.
It was hard to be motivated.
Yeah.
The 5th thing, and this is probably the most important thing, was I wasn't being social.
Well, that's what it was. That's how and this is during lockdown. And
this
COVID,
was like
right?
after. This was like
still residual stuff.
2021. Well, I used like so COVID happened. I was like, all right, I'm gonna bunker down. I'm gonna just work. So it's just like grinding every day. But now, like in Chicago, things were open up. Like things were like really open. But it was kind of like, well, I could just like stay in and just
there
work.
was, of course, and you got accustomed. In the beginning, it was torture to stay in. It was, oh, I want to be free.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you couldn't even really walk. So, and you were alone.
Yeah.
And usually, if you are a person who does get depressed, which I think everyone does, you have a friend or someone that can come and kind of get you out of your head and give you ideas and regenerate you. But there wasn't that, and there was a lot of pressure. And then we're constantly doing is being online and seeing the world burning, and just like it was hard to like even when they reopened, there was still that pressure of don't go out. You're horrible if you go out. Like so, it was and it was scary. It still is, you know. So that's it's easy. I think most people were depressed afterwards and during. So,
but this was like a time I didn't feel that until like recently. Then I addressed those habits, and like getting back to what you asked before is like I found that I don't sit in my apartment and read. Like I won't be like, okay, I have a half hour. I'm gonna like read a book or read a chapter. That's not how I read. What I do is I found that like before COVID, I was always out and about in Chicago. And so I would read on public transportation, or if I'm meeting with somebody at this time, I'll show up like 45 half hour minutes early and just like read. I'll just read in all these like weird times, and then it just like accumulates. But then not having that like going out and about, I didn't have that joy reading, like just sitting there and reading a book. Just I don't want that.